reason I decided on this title is because I was very inspired by the waves of people that throughout the day travel through the atrium, and this is something that I want to convey in the final artwork, is this kind of flowing motions. Is that the models that I used for the artwork are workers that work here in the building, tenant owners here that are part of the day-to-day life of this building. There was a major technological challenge for what I had envisioned. Creating LED tiles that could be curved and they could be twisted. So I have this kind of double torquing tiles that would allow me to create these interesting, audacious curves. In 2010, I was commissioned to create a mosaic for two bridges, pedestrian bridges, and the inner vaulted ceiling of these bridges had to be lined with a mosaic. I photographed neighbors from the two neighborhoods that these pedestrian bridges were joining that had been previously separated by a freeway. So I photographed cross-generational neighbors, old and young, were suspended from a crane, and I photographed them from below, trying to create a sense of weightlessness, as if they were floating in outer space. The effect was supposed to be reminiscent of old Baroque frescoes and paintings that we find all over Spain. Asalto is a public participation project. The participants are asked to crawl along a green screen surface, and they're captured by an overhead camera. So after about a minute, they see themselves climbing the facade of different buildings. There's a live video editing process where the different captions of different participants are added to an ongoing loop. So at the end of the evening, the surface of the building gets extremely full of people. And each iteration of the project, I use local participants, and this changes a lot the feeling of the piece. Travessias was a commission for the European Union Council in Brussels. It was an LED sculptural screen where the LEDs were placed on a flexible metal fabric, and the actual shape of the piece was determined by how it was suspended from the ceiling in the atrium. The installation was later presented in a 19th century water tower in Madrid, and in this case the piece cascaded down through the stairwell of the building.
I'm fine.
360 movie DVDs were purchased in the flea market, and the contents of these DVDs are projected back onto the surface of the DVDs, creating a kaleidoscopic audiovisual experience. Trax is an installation that uses VHS tape, and with video mapping software I'm able to very precisely project these abstract lines that seem to slide along the VHS tape that's being taken out of its cassette and extended in the exhibition space. Frequency is a collage of TV screens found in the interior of old cathode ray tubes. Onto these screens, I project imagery of white noise and test charts. This kind of imagery is reminiscent of a time before 24/7 broadcasting. .35 mm film is a media that has practically disappeared, and this installation flicker pays homage to what really can be considered the origins of cinematography. The video animation that's projected onto the film tries to imitate a sense of the media running through the spools and in and out of the projection technology. Tahoe is an installation that's formed with 180 plastic bottles, and onto these bottles I project videos that are all related to water consumption. People drinking water, people swimming, also scientific imagery of aquatic microorganisms. The bottles are held in place by fishing line, onto which I project small beads of light. They constantly seem to fill up and then empty the bottles with liquid.
Sí, a Diego, claro que sí, Diego no está genial.
Ahí está.